So get yourself in there raw. Right, let's kick off then. Marcus Rashford twerking for Barcelona, isn't he? He's clapping those cheeks for Barcelona, this man. He can't stop it. Oh, I'd love to play for Yamal. I'd love to play with Yamal, I mean. Yeah, or for Yamal. Who cares? He wouldn't mind either, to be fair. That's the reality. He's probably not going to be playing that much. But Barcelona are reportedly interested in him in a loan capacity. So, yeah, maybe that would be a loan with an obligation to buy. We know that they're trying to get Nico Williams at the moment, spending lots of money. I still think that could have an effect on the Rashford situation. However, maybe they want both. Maybe they can get both. Maybe they could get Rashford on a loan if they're obligated to buy this guy in a year's time. Maybe they can't spend all the money, all the wages, everything right now. But if they were just covering the wages and taking him on a loan with a small fee up front, then perhaps that could be a thing. Maybe we would allow him to go. End of the day, if Marcus Rashford is going to go this summer, he's probably only going to go to a handful of clubs, like the top clubs, because he's a big bollocks ego merchant, isn't he? So he's probably only going to go to the likes of Barcelona or Real Madrid or even Napoli or, Bayern, someone along those lines. That's the sort of move that he wants, I think. He's a brand player. Oh, yes, he's a brand player. I personally got a feeling that because of the whole Nico Williams situation, though, this isn't going to materialise with him at Barcelona. We'll see, but get your thoughts in. Yes or no? Do you see Rashford going to Barcelona? Have your say. Let me know what you think. But I actually think no. And the reason for it is it's a lot down to his wages being astronomical. And it's also down to the fact they're looking at other options. They get Nico Williams, aren't they? And in my opinion, he would be the guy playing in that position on the left wing there. He's not going to be getting in there ahead of him, I don't think. So, not when they're spending big money on him as well. He would probably be playing striker, would he? They can do better. They really can do better. So, I've got to be honest, I just don't really see that one happening. But you never know, guys. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yes, we do. He's on big wages. That's it. It's going to be tough for any other team to cover it in reality. Don't need him, says Gilbert. No, he's gash. No. Hi there, G. Lewis. Not a chance. No. Hi, David Hills. No. Hi, Connor Walsh. Yes, mate. Ben Jacobs said a loan can happen even if Nico is done. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could. A loan could happen, right? A loan move, I suppose, could happen if it's the only offer on the table and we could only get him gone via a loan with perhaps an obligation to buy in a year's time. It might not be the end of the world, but we need to sell this melt, don't we? We need to get this guy off the books. Ideally, his wages are an absolute drain, and his impact is pitiful. I mean, let's have a look at what Ben Jacobs said earlier on, just before this stream. So we're jumping on with the latest news about Marcus Rashford here tonight, guys. So this is it. Ben Jacobs, a little while ago, posted this out, and he said the following. Barcelona are considering a loan move for Marcus Rashford, even though their number one priority is Nico Williams. Rashford's clear preference is Barcelona, and he's willing to play in a more central role in Hansi Flick's system. Rashford has no future at Old Trafford. Yeah, no, he's obviously got no future at Old Trafford, but that's it. It's dependent on what Barcelona want, really. I suppose he's more prepared to play a more central role in Hansi Flick's system. Surely they can do better than Rashford through the middle, is what I'm saying. He's not a truly clinical striker. He's not going to be playing in behind a striker or anything like that because he's just not got the football IQ. But in terms of on the last man, he can score goals. He will get chances. He has got raw pace. He can take players on and he will stab a few in there. But he's not a clinical Barcelona type striker, if you ask me. Thierry Henry, he is not. You know what I mean? He's not that sort of player. But look, they're considering a loan move. Now, that's probably not going to materialise. It really does depend. If United cannot get any interest in Marcus Rashford at all this summer, I suppose it's better to loan him out and have his wages paid maybe by a big club like Barca, allow them to try him before they buy him sort of situation. And then just maybe in a year's time they might come in with the readies and pay to make it a permanent move. Or maybe they could do a deal with him now. I mean, I don't know. All I ever hear is that Barcelona are always struggling in terms of finances, in terms of, financial obligations, in terms of, registering players, wages. And all I ever hear is this about Barcelona, that they're absolutely strapped. So I don't really understand how they can, justify signing the likes of Nico Williams and Rashford. But that is the story of the night, and it's not just Ben Jacobs reporting it. Jamie Jackson also said a short while before this stream that Barcelona are still keen on a loan move for Marcus Rashford, even if they sign Nico Williams. So I'll ask the live chat here, guys, and it's sort of a little bit hypothetical, but keep, loan or sell Rashford. The keep part's hypothetical, because that's not going to happen, is it? Nobody's going to say keep. But keep, loan or sell, guys. You know, because ultimately, I don't really like a loan move for Rashford. I want us to get him off of our books. He's got 3 years left on his contract. He's on 350k a week. We don't want another problem in a year's time. We just want to get him off of our books. So even if it's a cheap sale, like 30 or 40 million quid for Rashford, is an absolute steal, really, because of his wages. Wages are so high, prices are out of many moves to many clubs. But if you could sell him for 30 or 40 million, get him gone, that's just a player off of our books who doesn't want to be here. And it's money we can actually have in the kitty right now to put towards other signings, which we crucially need in this transfer window. So for Rashford, I think just get him gone. Get as much as you possibly can to the highest bidder. The reality is it's down to Rashford what he wants, because he is contracted at Manchester United. He is being paid very handsomely here at United, $350,000 a week, crazy money. And if he is going to go, he's probably going to want a similar sort of wage wherever he's going. So Rashford is very hard to sell. Let's see what you legends are saying. Case later, sell. Yo, Gavs highlights, what's going on, you Don? Sell. Yep, sell, overpaid, overhyped, sell to Bayern. Yeah, so Bayern were reportedly interested in Nico Williams. Obviously, it looks like he's going to be a Barcelona player. So, you know, if that's the case, just maybe Bayern Munich could be interested in getting him in there. Sell. Yeah, fair enough. Marcus will cook for Flick, so just get that loan with the obligation. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, a loan with an obligation is good, but I think we'd have to put something in there, not like the Chelsea deal, where they can just give us 5 million quid in a year's time and give him back to us. That didn't really work out for us, did it? I think an obligation to buy should be an obligation, and if they are going to compensate you to giving him back, then it should be a reasonable amount. 5 million is just nothing, really, is it? For Rashford, it covers a few months' wages, so that's not the sort of deal we want to do. We want to get him gone. Yes, sell at all costs as Manny Melos. Get in there. Don't care where he goes. Sell for a packet of chocolate milk hobnobs. Yes, it does need to change. But anyway, so there is a feeling here that Rashford needs to be more open about where he's realistically going to go. This is just a quote here from Dean Jones, and he said the following, and I completely agree with this sort of statement, or, you know, this being the situation. Manchester United hope Marcus Rashford becomes more open-minded and realistic about his options in the coming weeks. You know, that's what Marcus Rashford has to do. He can't just go, I need to go to Barcelona or one of the top 2 or 3 clubs in the world. Because even though they're some of the only clubs that can actually afford him and might actually want him, like there's got to be a level of realism here. You know, he's not the best player in the world. He's not a Thierry Henry type player. He's closer to a Raheem Sterling. You know, so he's another one of those, really, who's just got not the best final product. He does score goals. He is effective. He has got pace, you know, but he's certainly not top tier, is he, Marcus Rashford? He has shown great glimpses in the past, but consistency has always been a key issue. Attitude in recent times has been a big problem. And just, yeah, headless chicken vibes half the time. So there you go. I mean, he kind of has to be a bit more realistic. I think somewhere over in Italy, we talked about the likes of Juventus, Napoli, you know, they pay big money over in Italy. Perhaps you could see Bayern Munich maybe be tempted later on in the window to try and get him in. If that was the case, then, yeah, I could see us maybe being able to get rid of him this summer. But yeah, there's not going to be that many clubs interested in him because of his wages. It's so difficult to move him on. And if we do move him on, I don't care where to, but I think Marcus Rashford does. And so I can't see him playing for the likes of Aston Villa, really, you know, and obviously they can't even afford him anyway. Yes, we could do some sort of deal where maybe we take the likes of Ollie Watkins, maybe Martinez in return, and maybe they would be more open to doing that. But it's actual wages are the problem. Villa can't just completely destroy their wage structure for one player. So they won't do that. They won't do that. But even if they did, I think Rashford probably wants to go to the big clubs. Look, he's out in Spain, for Pete's sake. He's training in Spain. You know, he's doing warm weather training in Spain and twerking in Spain. He's twerking for Barca in Spain and probably twerking for Real Madrid in Spain too. He's doing some serious twerking this summer. Not working, no, twerking for the likes of Barca. And just maybe it's good enough to get him a move. But at the moment, we need to be compensated. We need to generate money. Fair enough if they're going to give us a decent fee and perhaps an obligation to buy in a year's time and take him on loan and pay all of his wages. It's a good option if we can't sell him fully. And if that's the only club he wants to go to, it's a good option. But surely we would like to get the money for a sale. So here's another little report here via the Times that says Barcelona's interest in in Marcus Rashford is real, but they prefer a loan move. Manchester United are aiming for a £40 million sale. That's exactly right. We need money to invest in a new striker and goalkeeper and maybe some other positions in the team. We also need to get his wages off the books long term. I don't like this situation where we're trying to get rid of players. We've ruined the structure of the wages and everything to the point where we can't even get rid of them. So we have to loan them out, such as the likes of Sancho. And then what happens? Well, then he's still just contracted at the club, and we've just got a problem again in a year's time. So it's just delaying the inevitable. Just take the hit now if you need to. Get him gone on the relatively cheap, get those wages off the books, and everything's good then. Then we can start to plan for the future, and we won't have the possibility of this melter who doesn't want to be here coming back in a year's time with a sulk on his face. So that's it really. For me, I just think good riddance. If Barcelona want him, I hope that they put in a substantial offer for us. If it is a loan move, it's better than nothing for us. However, I think we should surely try and get 40 million quid for him with a permanent sale. How much do you think Man United can generate from Marcus Rashford? Live chat, get your thoughts in. But that figure is reportedly what Manchester United have wanted this summer for him. And the wages have been well and truly factored into that. If he was on 150k a week, he'd be a 60 or 70 million pound player. But over the course of a 4-year contract, it's millions upon millions upon millions that they have to pay him. So that's why he's only 40 million. At the end of the day, he's a 27-year-old, whatever, England international, huge star, mega star, huge brand. He's a good player, he's worth a lot of money. But his wages are crazy, so he's not worth that much. So I say 40 million is about bang right. That's all we can really hope for. Yeah, the Cake Cadet says, why on earth do we have so many prats at this club? It's absolutely unreal. Oh, tell me about it, Cake Cadet, lad. I know it's a joke. I even heard that they start to employ you as a T-boy, lad. Naz says, Mbeumo signed, Piggy? Nah, not yet. Not yet, but it's incoming probably beginning of July, lad. Yeah, maybe. What about Onana, Piggy? Is he staying or leaving? He will be hopefully going, but it's sort of dependent on who we can bring in at goalkeeper. If we do sign someone, which we probably will and we definitely should, then surely Onana's going to want to move to play elsewhere. If he doesn't, then he's just going to be our number 2, really, isn't he? Rushy says we owe him 3 years' worth of wages. Oh, yes, I know. It's a heck of a lot of money. So if we do the maths really quick, it's a reported 350k a week. That's 1.4 million a month. Okay, now times that by 10, that's 11.4. Now add 2.8. That's 14.2 million pounds a year, which over the course of 3 years is 42. It's a lot of money, guys, is what it is. Okay, it's a heck of a lot of money. 40, there you go. It's a lot of money. So it's in that region. 3 years left of this contract. It's a heck of a lot of money over the course of that contract. So we do need somebody else to buy him, though, and take him off of us. And then, thank you, Mike Blakemore. How you doing? And then, obviously, we can get that problem off of our books. But that's a huge amount of money to pay a player, isn't it? Yeah, it's insane. 14.2 times 3, by the way, is 42.9. Yeah. Did I say that right, guys? Hang on. No, 4.2.6. Sorry. Thank you so much, Matthew Smith. Yes, mate. We won the Fan Reactions Cup over there on Fan Reactions Hub. Get in there. Big ups to the greatest community in all the land. Yeah, 45 million for him. Why would Barca want him? He's a good player. He's a good player. He's not a fantastic player, but he's a good player. And he's a big brand, and he sells shirts, and he's of interest, He's obviously a good player. That's why, I suppose. 40 million's fair, 30 million at best, 30 to 40, 35, 5 million loan fee. Unbreakable obligation for 40 mil I'd take. I'd take that, too, Dino. Smash a 1 if you would. End of the day, if they're going to give us a few mil up front, and they're going to cover his wages, and there's an actual obligation for them to purchase him in a year's time, for the wages that he's on now at United at least, then I'm 100% with you, lad. I would get that. I would take that, even though we're not going to get the money right now. It's like a guaranteed bit of money coming next year and a guaranteed problem player off of our books. Sorry there, Cake. That was uncalled for, mate. I apologise, you know. Nice one, Nomad. You see, that's how it is, lad. Get in there. Any news on Martinez and Costa? Not at the moment, Harinder, lad. Nothing more. Let me get into some of the other stuff real quick. Actually, I'll just get into the chat for a few minutes and we could discuss Rashford a little bit. And then I'll cover the rest of the news. You know, we've got some stuff about Sancho, etc. We're 1 like away from 100 likes. Please do hit the thumbs up button on the stream if you haven't done so. Give us a massive like. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. We're on here at lunchtime and every night around about 10 p.m. with the latest Man United news and pure community vibes. So get yourself involved. Okay, yeah, no, Monaco, there was some reports that they were interested, but it seems like it's not the case. It's a nightmare. 5 million upfront obligation to buy for 30. I'd take that. A fair play, Manny. Yeah, that's it. It's more about getting the toxic players off of the books right now, even if we're not getting great money. As I said for Sancho, if somebody was prepared to take Sancho on his wages and just take him off of us, even though he's only got a year left, I'd just let him have him for nothing. There's talks, and we'll get into that in a moment, of him being worth, you know, or at least generating 20, 25 million pounds. I can't see it myself, but if it does happen, that's a brilliant sale from us, all things considered, even though we paid 73 million for him because he's an absolute melter. But I just don't see us getting that money for him because of his wages. We have to remember agents have a big role to play in these ridiculous wages. They ruin the game. Yeah, oh, so true, lad. That's very true. We're not paying for that smeg. Fair play to you, lad. I respect it. Yep. The fact that we have to accept loan fees to... indeed. Just one thing, actually, very quickly, right, guys? You know what? I don't know if you've seen this tonight about Lyon over in France. Francais. Right, have you seen this, guys? Lyon have been relegated to League 2, right, over finances. But French giants will appeal against incomprehensible decision. Okay, let's get some L's. Let's get some F's. In the live chat there, that's a massive L there for Lyon. They've shat it. And they've been relegated to League 2, you know, due to financial difficulties. Now, the interesting thing about Lyon is they do have some very good players, guys. They do have some very good players. And there's a couple of players in particular I think we should be interested in. And maybe we could get them off of them, you know, on the cheap. That's the idea, isn't it? That's the idea. So just maybe that could happen. Yeah, no wonder they let Turkey go for cheap. Yeah, it's on the BBC website. Exactly. Yeah. So personally, I've always been a fan of that Mikatadze. Now, you know, obviously, I'm not expecting him to be the main guy or anything for United up there, but he's the sort of player that could play striker or in the 10. And he's also young. I think he's like 23, 24. And he's got a bit of bollocks about him. And his celebration's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? It's like Minion vibes. You know, I like him. Always have done. Always rated him over the last couple of seasons when I've seen him wherever he's played in regards to for Georgia or, you know, the odd game in the Europa or whatever that we've seen of him. I always rate him. They've also got some other decent players, the likes of Tolisso and Fofana. And who else? They got some other good options there, guys. All I'm saying is Thiago Almeida. Who else? Not Alexander Lacazette. Not him. Not Matic either. But Mikatadze I like, you know, Tolisso. You know, like they've got some good players. All I'm saying is we might be able to just pilfer them for a couple of cheap players. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just an idea. Leon, 500 million in debt. There you go. They're going to have a little clear out. Fofana was good. Yeah, absolutely. They've got a few players. Took the L from Leon. Yeah, absolutely. When we played them, I wasn't overly impressed with anyone, to be honest. Oh, fair enough, really. Well, Cherky was very good, wasn't he? And, is that who I mean? Yeah. And, you know, there's some Mikatadze. Yeah, Mikatadze could play, you know. I rate him. Yeah, if Mikatadze flops, we'll call it Mickey Mouse. Can't sell, so I have to accept a few mil for a season loan for Sancho and Rashford. We need full sales. You think Rashford has seriously shit the bed? The desperation's not going to be attractive to other teams. Very true, that, mate. Yeah, he's out there twerking away in Spain, lad. You're not wrong. Lacazette. Oh. Yeah, Tagliafico as well. I think Tagliafico, isn't he available on a free anyway this summer? I think he's available on a free. I could be wrong. You would concentrate on a striker and goalkeeper. Absolutely, lad. 100%. Fofana as cheap Garnacho replacement sounds good. Almeida's a good 10. You know, that's it. There's a couple of decent players in there. There you go, Manny Melos. I don't know about Lacazette, lad. Nah, not Lacazette. Not a fan. Not a fan of Lacazette, mate. Not him. No, honestly, that Mkhitaryan's sort of like a bit of a, what's the word? I don't know. Hidden gem? No, that's not right. But he's just a little bit, he goes under the radar a little bit. Nobody gives a shit about Mkhitaryan. You know what I mean? But honestly, he's a good standard player. He works hard. Like, we could do worse than having him as a backup forward. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about as the main guy. We could certainly do worse. Tagliafico's old, but he'd be a good backup. Yes, exactly. That's it. You need someone who's going to be over on that left-hand side when Dorgu is not, you know, doing the business or available or whatever. Absolutely. Tagliafico available on a free. Exactly. That could be a heck of a decent option for the squad. Yep, need another 6 or 8 now that Casemiro might be moving. That's fair. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Definitely get in their case later. He says, thank you for all getting in tonight. Come back with negative comments on the Glazers after the stream. Yes, indeed. Hashtag Glazer shithouses out. What's happening with Eggy Tea Cake? It looks like Liverpool mostly the likeliest, I suppose, again. But still, I don't really think he's moving. He's a lot of money. Tagliafico's older than the pyramids of Egypt. Well, just for a backup, you know. Yeah. Have you seen us link with Ardon Jashari? What an unfortunate first name. I have, mate. Who the heck is Mkhitaryan? So he's the Georgian forward who does that. Remember that in the Euros and stuff? And he's a Lyon player. He's decent. I mean, I don't know what his strike rate is or anything. You know, as far as I'm aware, he plays as a 10 or a striker. And he, in my opinion, every time I've seen him, he always looks pretty dangerous and looks good. And he does that celebration, which is banging. Anyway, 24 years old. Yeah, just about the right sort of age for players we're looking for. Look, this is a bit of a reach, obviously, at the moment, guys. I'm massively speculating here as to who Man United might even be interested from Lyon. He's had 37 caps for Georgia, 20 goals, centre forward. In terms of his stats this season, let's have a little look. Stats this season, 11 goals in 34, 6 assists in League One. 4 goals in 11 in the Europa, 5 assists, so 9 goal contributions in 11 in Europe, not bad. Last season, 13 goals, 4 assists in 20 games. Plays mostly at centre forward, can play second striker, can play either on even wide. So he's an option, mate. He'll probably be cheap as well. The only reason I'm saying that is as an additional squad player. Because if we do sell Hojlund, if Hojlund does go out on loan or we sell him, surely we're going to have to get a little bit of, cover up there for our main number 9. You know, we've talked about maybe someone like Jamie Vardy, but Mkhitaryan would be not a bad backup. I'm not saying he's good enough to be the main guy at United, because he's probably not. But as a squad player, someone to come in and do a good job, not a bad shout. And then they've got Thiago Almeida. They've also got Fofana. You know, so anyway, the reason I was mentioning it, I just saw that before going live. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be a lot of teams trying to sign Lyon players right now. They need to sell players, obviously, to try and balance the books. They have got players they'll try and get as much as they can for, but there just might be a few sort of going on the cheap. So it's an idea, isn't it? It's an idea. Anyway, let's get on with the rest of the news. So we talked about the Rashford stuff. Let's get on to Jadon Garnacho. So Jadon Sancho to Fenerbahce is picking up a little bit of steam. More on Sancho Fenerbahce. Talks with Jadon started in May. First contact with Man United mid-June. The price, £30 million negotiable, is seen as fair. £10 million a year wage demands are the biggest hurdle. Fener are working to find a solution. But there is thoughts that there is big money being offered over there, you know. Big money being offered from the likes of Galatasaray and Fenerbahce and these teams. So maybe they could do something there. I still think a loan move is the most likely. I just can't imagine these figures being bandied around are true. He's got, like a year left on his contract. He's shite. He's got a bad attitude. He's guff. And how is he worth 30 million? Even if it's 20 million, I still find it hard to believe. But there you go. That's what this report says. And then there was just a bit of that's the only thing I've actually got there. Sorry, on Sancho there. But Sancho Fenerbahce is a big link, and just possibly it could happen, but I very much doubt it. I just don't really see it being the right club for him. You know, I suppose, you know, the Mourinho sort of vibe or whatever, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting, but I just don't really think that's that realistic either. Probably more likely would be he goes to Italy. You know, we talked about the likes of Napoli. That seems like a good move for Jadon. If they're interested, then maybe we could get a deal done there, either a loan or a permanent transfer. Elliot says, take the 30 million straight to the bank. Yeah, 20 million would do the job. 10 million would do the job. Free. Honestly, I'd sell this melt for free. Smash it. £1. £1 fish. Smash a one in the chat if you'd sell him for £1. Just get him off our books. You only got your left, 300k a week saved. Happy days. See you later on, Jadon. You gash, lad. Especially not to a Premier League team. I wouldn't sell him for £1 to a Premier League team. I'm just saying, if it was Napoli or whoever, £1 fish, come and get him, you know? Come and get him. For £1. Nice one, Nas. Hello, Luan France. How have you been, you legendess? Get in there. Hope you're keeping well. Yes, get in there. What do you reckon about Rashford to Barca, Luan? Your lover boy. Rashford may be leaving us, Luan. Elliot. Yeah, there you go. You agree. Few people agree. I don't see us getting 20 million for him, but maybe more like Scamcho. Absolutely switch extra there. Yeah, breathe again. It's a banging tune. Respect there, Sid. Yeah, Jose apparently gave Sancho a call. Sancho, Rashford and Nacho need stronger coach in their next clubs. I don't know if Jose Mourinho knows what he's getting himself in for there, though. I don't know if I thought he didn't like people with the sorts of character like that, who are like prima donnas and speak out of turn and cause issues, you know? Really can't see us doing any loan deals. It won't help us get any new players through the door. True, but wages will be saved. So it will add a little bit in terms of being able to afford more throughout the season, because if you do get Rashford off your books, you know, it is £1.4 million a month saved. But I hear you. We need transfer fees. We need transfer fees to be able to sign players, especially now where we have already done the business for Cunha and we're looking to close on Mbeumo, and that's the best part of 130 million right there. We're going to have player sales. Thornster says, Pig, if Alanga bid 45 million rejected, surely Garnacho's worth more than that. No, Garnacho, yeah. Garnacho is worth more than that. Probably he is. Yeah, I reckon 50 million for Garnacho, 70 million to Chelsea. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get into that in a moment, the Alanga stuff, actually. Yes, Jadon shit show. It's been a while, hasn't it, Luan? I hope you're keeping well, though. Yeah, is your boy going to Barca? Well, he's out there in Spain. He's twerking for Barcelona, Luan. He said things like it would be an honour to play with the likes of Lamine Yamal. You know, he said stuff like that in recent times doing interviews and stuff. So he's essentially twerking for Barca. He's not happy. He's out in Spain. He's in Spain, making himself ready and available. He's in Spain. So, yeah, there's a possibility of it. However, it's probably just going to be on a loan move. The reports are, you know, that Barcelona would like to take him on loan, not so much a permanent transfer, but a loan move. So that's realistic, I suppose, because then they don't have to spend so much money right now. Perhaps United would do it if there's no other options on the table, and we can get him off of our books, you know, at least this season. And then if it's an obligation to buy, hopefully we'll be going in a year's time, we get that money then. Just on other players who are also, you know, on the way out potentially here. We've got a report here from, you know, Fabrizio Romano, just the latest update in regards to the Hojlund situation, which is that Inter Milan are in negotiations with Rasmus Hojlund and Manchester United. So, you know, that's pretty cushy, isn't it? If that happens, that would be good. Rasmus Hojlund to Inter would be another good player to get rid of off of our books. But again, all of these teams want our players on loan, it seems. They want to try before they buy, or they don't want to pay the obscene wages that we pay as well as the transfer fees. Whatever the case may be, there's a lot of talks about Rasmus Hojlund to Inter, but probably in a loan capacity. Again, he's somebody else that we just should not be loaning out. He's somebody we should be selling. I mean, he's actually more worthy, I suppose, of giving a chance on loan too, because he's still young. If he had a good confidence season and it boosted his morale and his confidence up hugely, then potentially could come back a much better player. So I don't even care if he gets loaned out, actually. Most of these other players, I'd much rather they were sold. I'd much rather we just got rid of Sancho, got rid of Rashford, got rid of Garnacho. Not interested in loans or obligations or any of that guff, to be honest. But this guy, actually, I wouldn't say no to a loan. If it's just taking him off of our books for the season, maybe he can go and find himself again. You know, maybe he can go and be that player that we think he was going to be. But obviously the last year, he's just gone to absolute shite. Thank you, Luan France. She says we got 139 likes on the stream. Big ups to everybody who smashed the like on the video. Every like helps the stream out, helps the channel out. We got 280 legends in it and 139 likes. That is a Romelu Lukaku ratio right there. Let's get this sucker up to more Ruud van Nistelrooy vibes and smash that like button, you legends. Also, if you're new, guys, hit the subscribe button. Get involved in the chat with these legends. We'd love to hear from you. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, saved by Inter Milan on loan. They want them on loan because they don't want to make the same mistakes United did. Yes, and we pay them a lot of wages as well. I mean, obviously players like Hojlund and Garnacho are not on crazy money, but for the players that they are and the ages that they are, they're certainly still on big money. Particularly Hojlund, who signed for a big money deal, you know. He's on decent money for a youngster. But anyway, he's still massively signable, though, because his wages are not that high. Oh, thank you, Panache. That's very nice of you, mate. Appreciate that. Favourite Man United channel. Get in there, you legend. All good, Simon Lad. Lukaku's rate for Belgium. Well, that's so true, actually. Lukaku's international rate for Belgium is insane. Is the amount of goals he scored. Just goes to show you. Doesn't really tell you a story about how good a player is, really, does it? How many goals they've got for the nation. But he is obviously, yeah, amazing for them. Record-wise. Right, let's get on with the other stuff very quickly. So we were just mentioning about Elanga. God almighty, we are gash, aren't we, as a football club? Oh, my God. How much did we sell Elanga for again, guys? I think it was at least half of this. Was it 20 million we sold Elanga to Forest for, right? Well, that was that Dutch conehead Erik ten Hag's melty fault again, wasn't it? That was him being a complete prat and seeing the benefit of the likes of, you know, Elanga and Rashford and all these players over the likes of Elanga. So, no, it's very annoying, but they've rejected it. And I don't think they're going to be able to get him because Forest, think about this as well. Forest, there is a sell-on clause with Manchester United around about 20%. And if they do sell him, then obviously 20% of the deal goes to United. So if it was £50 million, then £10 million goes to Manchester United. So just bear that in mind because Forest will probably want to keep this player. They're going to have to up their offer quite significantly because anything that gets added onto this offer now, they only get to keep 80% of, right? So that is an issue for the actual sale. It would be nice if we could... 15 million we sold him for. Goodness me, with the sell-on clause. Yeah, fair enough. So we sold him for 15 million, which is crazily low, but we do have a 20% sell-on clause. Which means that if he moves for 50 million, we get an extra 10 mil. Okay, so it's still a crap deal for us, really, but it makes it much more difficult for a buying club to actually convince Forest to sell because they know that they've got to give the chunk of money to to other players. You know, Luan. I feel you. Listen, the Glazers are shithousers. There's obviously been big problems with players and the ownership and the leadership at this football club. But make no mistake, that Dutch Kojak wannabe, Mr. Erik ten Hag, set this club back 5 years with all of his decisions. I'm sick of going into it, but let De Gea go. Sign Gasmus Boyland when we could have maybe got Kane. Sign Mason Mount. What a melter. Signed Anthony Dos Gastos for 85 million. What? You know, some of the decisions that this guy made completely set us back many years, signing all these Netherlands League players and stuff and just basically just getting us a whole bunch of crap and spending 600... Oh, don't even get me started on that mug. He is massively at fault for a massive downturn in Manchester United since, he took over. Yes, we won the League Cup. Yes, we won the FA Cup, but it's put us in a terrible position. 600 million spent later, a lot of it poorly spent. I mean, fair play to him for winning the FA Cup and the League Cup. That's amazing considering. But you have to think about the overall bigger picture and what he's done to us. Goodness me, imagine if we still had De Gea and instead of buying Mount and Hojlund, we just bought Kane, which we could have probably done because it's the money's there that would be there for it with how much we spent on those guys. So just imagine if that happened. Guy's a bottle job. No doubt about it. Simon Warner, thank you so much for your super chat, Simon. Come on. He says, have been on for 37 months and counting. Let's go. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Simon. Get some love in there. He's been around here for 37 months. Yes, Rushmano, multiple clubs now after Sancho. Hopefully could get rid of him, maybe to the likes of, who knows, Napoli, Fenerbahce, Villa, etc. We've just been talking about that. And, obviously there has been talks about... Hojlund as well with other clubs. So here's another report from Marco, says that talks will resume this week for Manchester United, Inter Milan, and Rasmus Hojlund's camp, with Inter now seriously evaluating him as a player, as a potential target. So Sancho, Hojlund, Garnacho, Rashford, all these are being worked upon, guys. It's all being worked upon behind the scenes now. And hopefully, in a few days, probably at the start of July, we can start to actually see a deal agreed with a player sale. Or at least some players loaned out, because obviously he needs to go. And, there's talks going on, Rasmus Hojlund to Inter. There's talks with Rashford and Barcelona at this moment in terms of maybe a loan move, but could be a potential obligation to buy. It might tempt us if we get the wages off the books and there's a guarantee that it will be going there in a year. We might go for it. If not, then we're still going to struggle to sell him elsewhere, but we might do. Hojlund is saleable. Garnacho's saleable, although he's done himself no favours with his clear public shithousery, has he, with all that guff, with the Instagram guff. He's also, I don't know, you could argue that maybe damaged the overall figure we can even get for him. But I still think there's going to be big clubs interested in Garnacho, and we can generate some good money from the likes of, who knows, Bayern, Napoli, Villa, Chelsea. There's a lot of clubs that could be potentially interested in Garnacho as well. I mean, a report came out earlier that we'd be looking for £70 million for Garnacho from Laurie Whitwell, but I can't see that being the case unless it's to one of our rivals in the Premier League, like, for instance, Chelsea. Chelsea are shithouses and we don't like to deal with them, so maybe 70 million to them. Everybody else, though, can have him for 50 million, pretty much. Yes, so Man United receiving inquiries for Rashford, but only loan moves as it stands. Very frustrating, guys, very frustrating. But Barcelona still want Rashford, but most likely in a loan move. Right, I mean, that's basically the latest news of the night. I'm going to go over on X and shout out everyone who's reposted us using that link there that's pinned at the top of the live chat. Thank you so much to all of you for sharing around the show. Let me just give you a quick shout out. We've had 12 reposts. Big up to the 12 legends who've shared it around here. Kieran, Paul Nangle, Transfers MUFC, get in there, my lad. Aaron Homeyard, The Goat, Richard Wisterpeck, Chris Bamo, John Boy Cat, Sanjay Ramatar, Elliot Tapfuma, Vincent Bullock, Larry Hassa, and Andy Davidge. Get in there, you legends. And while I'm on X, let me just have a little look, see if there's anything else come through. So Ben Jacobs has just given an update here with a statement from Lyon, which says Olympique Lyonnais acknowledges the incomprehensible decision rendered by the DNCG tonight and confirms that it will immediately file an appeal. So maybe, just maybe, they won't actually be relegated to League Two, but maybe they will. It all depends how the appeal goes, but they have been found to have breached it and been punished, and don't think they are going to win the appeal, but you never know. So, but at the moment, yes, maybe Lyon could be pilfered. Okay, I'm going to get into the live chat here for a few minutes, guys. See what you guys are saying. We are doing FIFA tonight on the gaming channel. Flying Pig United. What's this update from Rushy? Juventus are pushing for Jadon Sancho and have planned for new contacts tomorrow. Oh, banging update there, Rushmano lad. Yes, has that just come through? That's excellent. From Gianluca Di Marzio in Italy. So Juventus as well getting in the mix. Yeah, we heard that a few days back that they had interest. Napoli had interest. Who else has got interest? Chelsea apparently reignited their interest possibly as well. Fenerbahce. I mean, surely someone's going to take Sancho off of our hands. Surely. It's not going to be a huge amount of money, but we don't care. We don't need a huge amount of money. We just need him gone and get the wages off of our books, and then he's not a toxic influence in the team either. I mean, let's face it, these guys are not going on the tour. There's 3 toxic melts we really have to get rid of. If we can't get rid of Anthony, if we can't get rid of Hojlund, I'm not that bothered, because at least they're hard-working, sort of not got a terrible attitude, professional, keep their heads down, whatever, don't speak out of turn, whereas the likes of Sancho, Garnacho and Rashford, they are just troublemakers, unfortunately. They are just divas. And we don't need a diva anymore at this football club. No, we've had enough of them over the years. Pogba, etc. Get rid of these divas, man. Those 3 are the definition of divas for Man United. So those 3 should go as the first symbolic transfers out this summer. That'd be nice. 55 million for Garnacho. Right, let's get stuck into the chat, guys. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe, get your thoughts in. We're going to get into it for a good few minutes here. Thank you, Paula. Yes, nice one. Mrs. P's at work. She's on a 12-hour night shift, bless her. I don't know, Rajat. You have more likes than the repost, go figure. Just reposted. Thank you so much, Luan France. Appreciate you reposting as well, you legendess. You once went out for dinner in a blind or a white suit. You farted with Ruby Mara and ended up following through. Oh, STJ, if that's a true story, that's horrendous, lad. Garnacho wants London, so you reckon he'll go Spurs? Sorry, it was a fake laugh that led to a real laugh there, mate. You know, Garnacho wants London, so reckon he'll go to Spurs? No, I don't really, mate. No, they're a bunch of bottle jobs. I mean, I'd love it if they did us a cheeky Son swap. You know what I mean? I'd love that if they give us a cheeky little Son swap, lad. You know, I'd do that, even at the moment with Son being old and Garnacho being young. But no, I don't think so. Who wants to go to Spurs? Let's be real about that. Who actually wants to go there? Yeah, like I said, only go after Tolito and play for Spurs. Dos Gastos has dropped his wage demands, which at least shows that he has some decency about him. Yeah, I've heard that as well, in order to be more likely to play for Real Betis. I think that does show great character, doesn't it? And if that's true, definitely, what great character just wants to play football somewhere where he can be happy and do well. It hasn't worked out at United. It's sad. I mean, there's lots of great players that come into United it's not worked out for, from the Diego Forlans to the Juan Sebi Veron. So it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Just move on. Yes, interesting. Fenerbahce does seem like it's a reasonable target. I just don't think I can imagine Jadon wanting to go play in Turkey. It's like roulette, who's going to win on the wheel. Yes. Oh, tell you what. Besiktas. Ollie's been doing bits, hasn't he? Ollie got a soul shop. Besiktas, an interesting thing. Love the show. New to the channel. Thank you, Steve Rebello. Appreciate your comment there. Yeah, mate, we're on here every night, so come and join us tomorrow night as well. We'll be on about 10 p.m. Make sure you click the bell icon as well so you get notified when we go live, and subscribe, of course. Jadon Sancho's now open. Ideal go take 200k. What does that mean? Jadon Sancho's open to the idea of taking 200k a week. No chance. Like he's saying, Jadon Sancho not go in anywhere unless it's for the maximum amount of money that he's on now, unless it's the same or more. He's not going to take 100k less a week to go and play. He doesn't strike me as that sort of player. Look, he didn't want to do a deal with Chelsea, did he? He was reasonably happy at Chelsea by all accounts. He was doing okay. They were selecting him. They wanted him. They just couldn't reach an agreement with him on personal terms. So that means that he's not prepared to bend. He'd rather come back to United, sit on the bench, or not even sit on the bench, train alone, play with the under-21s, whatever, you know, he'd rather do that. I think, okay, of course he's going to try and move away, but he had the opportunity to go to Chelsea for less money and he didn't want to do that, somewhere where he was actually wanted. Sancho surely motivated not to go back to Carrington as well. Exactly, yeah, definitely. Casemiro approached by an Italian club, I believe. Well, links with Saudi as well, but I mean, it's only speculative links right now. I haven't seen anything from, you know, the big journos or anything in regards to that. What about you, Rushy? He says nothing on Casemiro. Yeah, what's the latest on Cassie? I mean, there were some links coming out yesterday saying in regards to Casemiro to Saudi. It seems speculative guff to me, but you just never know. I mean, Cassie's on a sweet deal at United, right? He's got another year left on his deal. It makes sense for Casemiro, if you ask me, to hang out for a year, play when he's needed, which will be still quite regularly, I suppose, and he can still do well. He showed that last few months for United, but probably best for him to just wait it out for a year, and then in a year's time he can get a really big money move because he's a free agent, and so a Saudi team would probably give him a bit more in terms of wages because they don't have to give anything up front. Again, unless we're going to hand him away for free, which I can't see us doing. You know, it's probably likely in a year's time that happens. He seems happy at United, but you never know. Yes, I saw that as well, but he's looking to sell Cardoso to get Anthony Dos Gastos. Also, just to give you an update on Anthony, guys, there are reports that we are, you know, they are, but he's looking at, like raising the capital, but also trying to maybe split the deal, kind of like we have with Cunha over a couple of seasons. Again, it doesn't do us much favours right now because we want as much as we can up front to be able to reinvest. But if no offers are on the table for Anthony and he wants to go there, you know, and it's ultimately going to give us the same amount of cash just over 2 seasons, well, it's not a bad deal, is it, if that is the only deal that Betis can afford. What about a Garnacho swap deal with Martinez at Inter? Interesting. Lautaro Martinez. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting shout there, SCJF. I mean, you know, I've always rated him, to be fair. There's also, the talks of Napoli. Napoli have been actually fully linked to Garnacho. I haven't really heard anything about Inter being linked to Garnacho. Napoli I've heard, which is great for Osimhen maybe to be able to pick him up as well. So, yeah, there's a couple of things maybe you could do with Garnacho. Like we talked about, if he wanted to go to Villa, I mean, he did wear a Villa shirt. I don't think we can read too much into that. But if he did want to go to Villa and stay in the Premier League, that's probably a good move for him with Emery there, and they're doing quite well. They've got Martinez in goals or Ollie Watkins up top that maybe they would be prepared to let go. They're not going to probably let any of their other star players go right now. But certainly those two, I think, would be open to them selling, especially if they can get a new young buck in. And then over at Napoli with the Osimhen situation, yeah, there's a couple of... we've got a little bit of collateral there with Garnacho to any club that wants him. If they've got some players we want in return, you never know. Mate, thank you, Lewis Joshua, for shouting us out on Facebook as well. Get in there. Yeah, Juve interested last year. Go to Spurs if you're desperate or a glutton for punishment. I'm so angry when I hear Sancho, Rashford, Garnacho, I think of the human centipede. Oh, Pig, Jadon Sancho now pushing for Italy. That would be great, Lucky. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, we're broke. What's the Cardozo sell? United States lost to Haiti last night. Oh, my goodness. Bottle jobs. When will Mbeumo get announced? Probably the 1st of July, Rajat. That's my thought. Hey, what's going on, TK? How you doing? How far away are we from 91,000 subscribers? Let's have a look. We're currently on 90,960. So if there's 40 legends out there who haven't hit the subscribe button yet, you're having a mare. Give us a subscribe and help us get to 91,000. We're only 40 people away now. Nice one. Needs to get reduced wages at Juve wherever he goes to. Yes. What's the site? It's a fan reactions hub on YouTube, mate. Yeah, they put loads of fan reaction clips on from all different fans and teams. And they had like a knockout cup this summer where they pit different fan reactions against other fan reactions. And we've only gone and won it, my friends. Oh, yes. And Piggy has won it. There you go. Josie and Jaden both swiped right. I like Ndidi, always have done. Yeah, I do like Ndidi. I've always liked Palhinha as well, He's being talked about as maybe a cheap deal, cheap loan move or something. We can also get a couple of loans, can't we? We're in a situation where we're a bit strapped for cash. Maybe it suits us to try and get one or two players in on loan. Like we did with Sabitzer or whatever. It's not a huge investment then. And if we're struggling financially and we need to strengthen as many positions as possible, a couple of loan deals might work as well. Paper's just trying to sell sheets. Don't believe anything till it happens. Hey, fair play to you, lad. Interesting. Jacob's Mbeumo tweet for Mbeumo's written kind of weirdly. What is that? A new thing that's just come out here tonight? Or let me have a look. See what's going on. Oh, breaking Paul Pogba to AS Monaco. Here we go. That's done. So AS Monaco have completed the signing of Paul Pogba. That's official. Well, not official, sorry, but here we go from Fabrizio. So medical test later this week. Pog back. Hashtag Pog back. Dodged a bullet there, guys. We dodged a bullet there. We're one like away from 200, you legends. Get in there, my son. Rushmano United only need 15 for Casemiro. Yeah, I mean, that would be lovely. He's getting on a bit now, isn't he, to be fair? He is getting on a bit. 15 mil, I'd take it. Just want Onana gone, same. No cash, definite links. Sancho, need a minimum 14.6. I'll take him. I'll take 5 million for him. Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo will leave. Oh, okay, no worries, Simon. Yes, we're going over to the FIFA stream in a moment. Casemiro is also a parent and has to take their needs into consideration. That's true. That's why, I think what a lot had to do with Bruno Fernandes staying in England and staying for Manchester United as well. He could have gone and made a fortune over there in Saudi, but does he want to uproot his family and take them far away? That's the thing as well. It has to be considered. You're absolutely right. United need Jimmy Jotchak in goal. He can control two balls at once. Anthony's the only one I'd let try if he didn't go. Yeah, fair play. And if we can't get a new club for Hojlund, I suppose he could be a third choice backup. But I'd want him to be behind the likes of Chido Obi in the pecking order from what I've seen so far. We can't swap. It's terrible on PSR for academy products. Oh, well, no, not necessarily straight swaps then, Dino. But, if you let us have Martinez for 30 mil, we'll give you Garnacho for 55 mil. Something like that. Arsenal need a left winger. They can take Garnacho. Interesting. Don't see it happening, but interesting. Onana's going nowhere with a 3-year contract. Well, if we get a new goalkeeper, what's he going to want to do? Is he going to want to fester around and not play, or is he going to want to play? I still think that he will want to play. And if we do sign somebody else, that's a clear indication of what his role in the squad is, and he'll probably want to go. You know what? I've been put off the name Onana forever now, you know, Simon, even though Amadou Onana is a good player. Would take Martinez and Watkins in a 2-for-1 deal. Hell yeah. 2-for-1 for Garnacho, lad. Now you're talking. That's a great couple of additions. Actually is. That would be genuinely a sweet deal. Fabrizio is now confirmed Onana wants to leave. Any choice of keepers you prefer? Steve Rebello, when's he confirmed that Onana wants to leave? I've not seen that, mate. All I've ever seen in regards to Onana is that he wants to stay. I've not seen that, lad. Yep, we're on the way. Thorns, I haven't actually got it set up, mate, so sorry about that. I haven't done that, I'm afraid. I had to take Mrs. P to work, and, you know, it's the whole thing. Yeah, Pogba just signed for Monaco. Yes, mate, got the here we go a minute ago. Get in there. Fabrizio Romano posting out here we go for Pogba. I like him. I like him, Magnifico. I like Mikatadze. Yes, I like him. Thank you so much, Vincent Bullet. Hope you find Harry Maguire for voting, laughing out loud. Thank you so much. Thank you so much there, Vincent. You're a legend. Piggy, do you reckon that Amorim could play Diego Leon as a right wing back? I mean, maybe. I expect him to really be playing over on the left side, but obviously we've got Dorgu there. I don't know. You see how good he is first. Well done on the trophy and many more. Thank you so much, Johnny Ford. Appreciate you, lad. What about Rios? Not worth a punt? Yeah, Dickie Rios. Why the hell not? Looks a good option, absolutely. Costa or Martinez? Honestly, I do like the Costa. I do like Costa, but I just think Martinez is Premier League proven and experienced and also probably available for less. Tactical Devils. What's going on, you legend? Yes, lad. Evening Pig. Who do you think will end up signing as a striker? Osman wants fantasy wages. Gyokeres looks Arsenal bound. And Ekatike is too expensive. Not many options left. Mateta, maybe. Do you know who I would actually go and try and get? I don't know if they'd be up for it at this moment because obviously they're Sen and Mbeumo, but Visser. Visser and Mbeumo. Get the old gang back together. They scored a lot of goals between them this season just gone. If not him, then yes, I do like Mateta as well. Out of all the big money signings like Osman, you know, Gyokeres, Sesko, all those, my favourite probably was Gyokeres, but he seems to want Arsenal, so screw that guy. I would be open to taking Osman. Osman would definitely be wanted by me, even if he's on 350k a week or whatever, just because I would hope that it would mean that one of these melts is going in the opposite direction to Napoli, you know. Potentially that could make it a cheaper deal for us. If they were to buy Sancho, if they were to buy Rashford, if they were to buy Garnacho. Garnacho's probably the heaviest one that's been linked, and Sancho has been linked to Napoli as well. But just because of those links, I think maybe, you know, just maybe it makes the overall deal not too ridiculous in price for United. But I still think we're just better off selling Garnacho for as much as we possibly can and then trying to buy the likes of a Visser or a Mateta with a bit of Premier League proven experience, you know, or even Ollie Watkins. You know, we talked about swapping with Aston Villa. I don't mind Ollie Watkins at all. I think he's a good Premier League proven player. His stats are good season to season. We could certainly do worse. You know, I think he even got like 16 goals this last season just gone, and it wasn't one of his best. So he's effective, and he can get you some goals. Casemiro, backup captain if Bruno's injured. True. You won't be playing FIFA until late September. I feel you there, Steve, yeah. Liverpool now moving towards Ekatike. Yeah, it seems like that's the most realistic destination for him, but a lot of money they want for this player, isn't it? The Cinnamon, how you doing? Sancho being sold. Hopefully, you know, there's interest from various different clubs in Sancho. You know, there's Fenerbahce talks taking place. There's interest apparently from Juventus and Napoli. A couple of teams in Saudi, maybe. So, yeah, could well be the case there, Mr. Cinnamon, lad. Possible loan for Sancho from Juve. Yes, absolutely. Ratcliffe looking to increase his stake in Manchester United. Get these Glazer shithouses out. You know, as much as I don't really like what Ineos or Ratcliffe has done, the Glazer shithouses are the real big hindrance and proven hindrance for a long time at this club. Onana definitely does need to go. Yes, mate, 100%. I'm with you. Definitely. Right, let me read a few more comments out, guys. We need players who will die for the badge, not just players who are looking for a big payday. Absolutely, lad. Yeah, Phil Taylor getting there, you legend. Exactly that. Let him go to Arsenal. Osman has got form for being a bit of a twat, hasn't he? I mean, I suppose he... Well, I mean, I don't really know the inner workings of what happened with him at Napoli, but I know they had a falling out. I don't know. Some people were saying that the club was posted something racist about him on social media or something, though. So you could understand if that was the case, why he not want to freaking play for them, you know what I mean? But he obviously wanted to move out on loan or go anywhere, Galatasaray. So, I don't know, you know. Pick out from Visser, Kluivert, Mateta, Easy or Watkins Pig. Hey, great shout, you know. Out of all of those, honestly, right now, for who would cost the least and who would be the most obtainable, I'd go with Mateta. I'd go with Visser. or Mateta out of those ones, because I think they're not going to cost as much as those other guys. You know, Kluivert and Easy, they're going to cost a lot, aren't they? Whereas, you know, Vista's 28, 29, I don't know. I think you could get him for maybe 45 mil. Bit less, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Jadon Sancho would accept 200k? Nah, I don't think so. Don't think so. Or steady on there, Wayne. Arden Jashiri's a must-buy from Club Brugge. He's another linked player. Yes, he is another linked player as well, and his name's Ardon. Oh, that's terrible, isn't it, Madhouse? Oh, my God. Palhinha isn't the answer to the midfield. Well, he's somebody that could come in and be a cheap option. I think he's one of those options for a loan move that gives us a cheap addition. He's not somebody that we're really looking long-term to, but for a season, for extra sort of, you know, extra number 6 cover, it makes a bit of sense. Interesting, Neil Driscoll there. Dibbling will not come to United. Dad told me we live in the same town. Oh, his family don't like United. Oh, fair play the Neil, lad. Well, money talks and bullshit walks, doesn't it? We need Callum McFarlane at centre-back. Heard he's a beast and turned down offers from Plymouth and Yardley Wood for a chance to join United. Shard is looking good. Kluivert at 31 million. I mean, that would be a snip. But again, I think they'd want more than that. But there you go. Anyway, good cover for short-term. I agree, Excellinator. Vista playing for Kluivert's favourite for relegation next season. Exactly. Now that they've got a new manager, it's not very convincing, is it? I think they'll struggle, and maybe some of their players will look to leave now that Thomas Frank's left, and it's going to be a different era for them. Right, guys, so we're going over to the gaming channel. Make sure you smash the like on this stream, though, and hit the subscribe. We'll be back on here tomorrow lunchtime and in the evening at 10 p.m. But we're coming over here literally in 2 minutes or so. Here it is. There's the link right there in the chat, guys. We're going to play some FC25. We've got Champs Rewards. There's the link. Please come and follow us. And we'll be there in 2 minutes, guys, doing a cheeky Champs stream. You can get involved and we can continue talking all this COD shite over there. So please come and join us. Here it is, pinned at the top of the live chat. There it is. Let me just check that it works. Boom. Yes, mate, that's it. We're going to be over there in 2 minutes, guys. So come and join us. Come and join us in 2 minutes. But thank you so much to everybody who's got in the chat here. Big ups to everyone in the chat, such as Simon, Alfie, Johnny, Insane Gamer, Ender Madness, TK, Madhouse, Rajat, Phil Taylor, Kingslayer, Elliot, Rajat, all the moderators, people like Rushmano, Tactical Devils, Chris Koo, Aaron. Who else has been in here? You know, loads of the legends. Luan France, G Wolf. You know, Kate Cadet, everyone. Thanks to all the mods. Thanks to everybody who's got in the chat and had a chat with me, guys. Big ups yourselves. Canute, lad, get in there. Your friend played against Patrick Kluivert in the Norway under-19 match. He said he would probably be good. Kluivert had his Barca debut 3 weeks later. Oh, he was a player and a half, wasn't he? Oh, my God. Let's go. Get in there. Love United, hate Glazers. Reapers, thank you, Johnny, Madhouse, Gregory, Lucky, Rajat, Connor. Let's go, you legends. Steve, Wayne, Larry, Luan, Doggo, Paola. Everybody, come back after, have your say in the not live comment section. Get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. But for now, I'll see you in 2 minutes over on Flying Pig Gaming. There's the link in the chat once again. Please do go and subscribe, even if you're not coming to stream with us, because, we'll be on very, very regularly on there. So please give us a cheeky little follow there over on Flying Pig Gaming. Appreciate that. That's what I always do, Tactical Devils. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, lad. Still going to direct everyone over there, absolutely. So come and join us, guys. I'll be over there. Give us a cheeky little follow at Flying Pig Gaming, and I'll see you there in a moment. And remember, Piggy loves you. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you soon. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.